Hi and welcome back once again to Back to Primal. Today I'm going to cover a topic which I first covered a couple of years ago when I was just starting out the channel, and it got some really good response, but obviously being well back in my videos, it's one of the last ones people tend to look at. So this is a topic on stress and how by controlling stress you can improve your overall results from training, your overall well-being, your performance at work, and so on and so on. What we're going to do is we're going to do this in two parts. First part is going to be talking about the fundamentals of stress, so what the main stresses are that affect our body and how they affect the body in the same way. And then the second one is going to be my very simple approach to balancing out your stress so that you can get the most out of your physical exercise, your training results and so on. So we're going to start with outlining the 6 fundamental stressors. Now, most people think of the basic one, which is psychic emotional or emotional stress. This will be your classic financial stress, relationship stress, a lot of the mental pressure that we take day in, day out. Now, that's one of 6 stresses, so it's only one of the 6 stresses that hit our body. All the stresses, when they affect our body, basically cause the same results, which is the release of cortisol. And elevated cortisol over a long period of time just generally isn't very good. It will lead to a lot of diseases of adaptation, it will hinder results from training, and generally just will start to wear us down and can lead to chronic fatigue type syndromes. So we have psychic emotional. Obviously good psychic stress would be the likes of setting yourself goals, having deadlines, overcoming adversity and using those accomplishments as a good stress, or what we call a eustress. A bad version of an emotional stress would be negative work stress, a horrible environment to work in, financial pressures, maybe not earning what you'd like to earn for the needs that you have, and obviously the standard family pressures from parents or spouse or girlfriend and so on and so on and so on. So that's very self-explanatory. But what are the other 5? So the other 5 would be your chemical stress. So these are the chemicals that hit our body either for positive or negative reasons. So good chemicals would be your vitamins, hormones within the body when they're balanced, good foods that are clean of pesticides and fungicides and poor quality foods and the like. And bad chemical stress would obviously be chemical laden foods, makeup that is very harsh to the skin and also can be absorbed into the system. Some medicinal drugs, if not 100% necessary, if they're basically dealing with symptoms and not dealing with the cause, then sometimes some medical drugs can be harmful to us. Paints that are around us, and new car chemicals. The list is endless, but that's your chemical stresses. So things that hit your body and create an imbalance within your body. Nutritional stress. So nutritional stress, good would be eating correctly for the proportions of what you need, good portion sizing, eating for your metabolic type, eating good quality food so that your digestion is good. Bad nutritional stress would obviously be not eating right for your metabolic type, so eating way too many carbs when your body thrives on a bit more protein and not getting that balance right. Obviously commercial foods, because they're laden sometimes with hormones and chemicals and fungicides and pesticides and so on. And obviously too much and too little of the chemicals that we need within the body, and toxins is what I'm talking about there. Then we have thermal stress. So thermal stress is obviously being too hot or too cold. If we've got a stable body temperature, then obviously we're near a homeostasis, so we're near a balance, so we're going to function better. If we get too cold, obviously we can start to slow down a little bit. If we get too hot, obviously dehydration and so on, and overheat. So bad thermal stress would be sunburn, not getting enough sun, as we say, being outside cold and for too long, so hypothermia and so on. We've also got electromagnetic stress. So electromagnetic stress would be the likes of sunlight. Obviously that's good and we like sunlight. The Earth's natural magnetic fields and weather. As much as we can have weather that we don't like, we can also have weather that we do like and is beneficial. And then on the negative side of that, you've got excessive use of X-rays, excessive use of scans, excessive use of microwaves, which are a bit of a no-no, and then extremely low frequency devices, so TVs, alarm clocks are right next to your head, phones, and so on. And finally, physical stress. So the sixth one being physical stress, which is obviously what we think about, exercise. But are we moving in the right way? If we are, then that's good stress. Have we got good posture? Good stress. Are we moving? Good stress. But also, are we moving poorly? Are we moving in the wrong way, which would be negative stress? Are we moving too much or too little? So in the case of elite sports, are we often moving way too much and becoming very, very tired, very overtrained? Or are we a couch potato doing absolutely nothing, not helping our digestion, not helping our circulation, generally becoming very lethargic? So just to recap those 6 fundamental stressors: psychic, emotional, chemical, nutritional, thermal, electromagnetic, and then physical. So there are 6 stressors. All of those, when they hit the body, if you look at the work by Paul Chek, he'll often explain that all stresses are mates. So all of those stresses have effectively the same response on the body, which is elevated cortisol levels. And if you go too high with your stress, with your cortisol levels, you'll go over your threshold of stress. And what that is the amount your body can deal with before it starts to have a negative effect. So changing from eustress to distress. So what we're going to do in part 2 is we're going to outline those 6 and show how, by controlling the 5, your physical stress can be much more useful and beneficial, and your training results, you'll see rehab, you'll see injury prevention and injury cure, and yeah, we'll cover that in part 2. So stick around and I'll see you in part 2.